United Nation Global Compact. So in 2008, Sustainability Report recognized as a notable communication on progress. This is sustainability reporting recognition at Vale 2010. Also GRI award in 2010 for our corporate social responsibility initiatives. Logistics. Well, Vale is a major logistics operator in Brazil. In logistics is an important ingredient for our business, for Vale's success. In 2010, for instance, we accounted for 12% of the total Brazilian exports. Vale's our goal is to transport 522 million tons a year of mineral products by 2015. We have invested about $9 billion worldwide in the last 6 years in logistics. This year, as I mentioned before, $4 billion just in this port facility in Malaysia, and there's $1 more billion in expansions in logistics, in port terminals in Brazil. We own main ports in Brazil, Tubarão, in southeast to receive the ore from the mining operations in this part of the country. Ponta da Madeira is in the northeast, just from Carajás mainly, and Guaíba is not here, but is in the south. And then we participate in important economic sectors in Brazil that represent 40% of the gross of the GDP, 28% of the logistic market in Brazil, 16% of the total cargo in the country, and 30% handled in Brazil ports. So globally, well, again, investing in logistics. So from the mine to the port, everything is integrated in order to reduce costs. That's the main idea. So in Mozambique, when you're going to operate a coal mine, we are also investing in our runways and ports to transport about 11 million tons a year of production. In Guinea, the other project that I mentioned before with the iron ore, there's also railroads and ports facilities involved. In Asia, distribution centers, mainly to supply China and Japan, Korea. So we can transport our ore from Brazil to Southeast Asia, have a distribution to Malaysia in this case, have a distribution center, and then sell it to China. The reason for that is Vale is building these large vessels with the 400,000 tons, and not any port can accommodate these vessels. Okay, there's only 2 ports in the world, I guess. So we need to build a port to accommodate these vessels, and then you would put in small ships and resell it. And in Brazil, invest more on railways and ports. So in this case, Argentina. So Vale, carrying out large investments in logistics, has a concession to operate 750 km of railways, which links the potash mine in Mendoza. It's a recent mine, a recent project that we acquired last year. So just a quick look in the Philippines. What we're doing here. So I came to the Philippines in 2008. We had one project by then, so it's been 2 years. We have reviewed a lot of projects, and at the moment we have 3 exploration projects. So the first one we got into is the Masbate project. It's an exploration option agreement with GeoGrace. This was June 2008. It's a grassroots exploration, for copper gold. We did some initial exploration works. We had to put on hold in 2009 due to budget constraints. because in the end of the day, we also were hit by the financial crisis. And then, of course, we were fighting for the exploration permit. It was granted recently, and we are just resuming the activities there. Then, in 2010, last year, there's an option agreement with Royalco. This is a Gambang project in North Benguet, about 15 km south of Mankayan, Lepanto. It's a target generation and drilling project. That's where we are now, and exploration is ongoing. We have been drilling. We have 2 rigs there, and the Panay project is our own. Well, was our own application. Now it's our own EP, and in Panay, this island in Visayas, Iloilo province. So it's a grassroots exploration as well. So this year, I think we can generate targets fairly quickly. So hopefully be drilling this year too. So in the Philippines, Vale, I can say in behalf of the company that we are committed to social and environmental sustainability in all our activities here, and to assess, long-term investments in the country. Yeah, well, we all know that I think for this public here that we need resources, we need raw materials, right? And but not at any cost. Nowadays, 2011, for you to mine, you need to be responsible. This is not, this is serious. Okay, so this is serious. You cannot develop a large project without caring about the environment, without caring about the people. Even if we don't have a solid project, even the banks not finance you. So for you to develop a project, you need the resources. You need to find the resources. You need to have the money to develop and get the technology. But you need to work on the social side and look after the environment. Okay, so just to finalize is the message I want to pass, which is also the institutional campaign of the company, is that there is no future without mining. And there can be no mining without caring about the future. Thank you.
We have about 10 minutes from my notes. I see that we have about 10 minutes for questions and answers. While these microphones are being rounded up, I'd like to entertain the first questions for Fernando. Any questions? If there's no one yet who has formulated a question, I have a question for you. We have 3 projects that you have listed. I think many people here who are in the business of looking for opportunities with mining companies probably have in their minds the question, how far away is Vale from opening up a mine in the Philippines?
Excellent question. I don't know. Well, when you work in exploration, well, you don't know, right? So at the early stage. So we need a few years to know better, right? So historically, from a discovery to a mine, takes 20 years. From a discovery to a mine, okay? Putting all the commodities together, all the examples around the globe. So from exploration, I would say 2 years, 4 years. Then you go for pre-feasibility, 2 more years, bankable feasibility, depending how easy is your project. If it's too complex in terms of community or metallurgy, engineering. So we put 2 more years plus 2 more years of construction. So we're talking about, if you find something tomorrow, if I drill there, find an amazing intercept, we're talking about 12 years from now, 10, 12 years. Considering the country stable, long-term price, everything. So.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yeah, mic is coming. Please state your name and affiliation.
Well, my name is Bruce Curran. I work for a financial services group called Cabell Alexander. I'm just curious that all your exploration here is just based on copper. And can you explain, my ignorance, what's the big deal about copper, that you seem to be really keen on developing copper around the world? Thank you.
Well, we like copper. Well, we see, I don't have any graphs here, but we see the demand for copper, in China, for instance, it's huge, Copper, it's widely used, so, well, you see this presentation now there because of copper, right? So for cables, electricity, energy, so all the wires, so we need copper, and so to grow, to in urban areas, industrialization, so we need copper. So it is a key commodity, Thinking on the grow, people need copper as well as concrete. Just talking about cement, you need steel. So for the steel, you need iron, little dose of nickel, so we can to make it a stainless steel. So a little bit of manganese, and other elements to make it harder, softer. So a lot of engineering behind. And then we have some large copper in deposits in Brazil, and the company, the price is good, and our long-term price, that we consider is also very interesting. So that's why we put in our portfolio the main business. Did I answer?
Thank you. I have to comment on copper. I several years ago heard Robert Friedland talk about copper, and he called it the green metal. And then he puts on a photograph of a hybrid car. And he says, first year of production, the Toyota hybrid, 200,000 cars, and blah, 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 blah. 2 million cars. Now Germany is making cars. Now everybody's making hybrid cars. He said, let me point out to you that the difference between a regular car and a hybrid car is several hundred. He said 500 pounds more of copper. So you could tell the environmentalists, if we want to go hybrid, we still need copper. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll name. I don't need to name myself. No. For those of you who are not miners here, I'm sure they'd like to know. I mean, Vale's got lots of money, but what is it? If it's looking for a mine in the Philippines and it's looking for a major mine, okay, what is the minimum size it's looking for, and what will that minimum size require by way of investment to build that mine in today's money?
Okay, in terms of size, there's for those who know, there's a grade tonnage curve. Okay, so it's grade versus tonnage. So the size could vary according to the grade. Okay, so we have a higher grade, we would be okay to a smaller deposit. But our idea is about 500 million tons at 1% copper equivalent. Okay, that's our target. Doesn't mean we cannot develop something at 400 at 0.7 or 400 at 0.6. If you all understand what I'm saying. There's other variables. We have the target of 500 at 1% equivalent, copper equivalent. But if you have a little bit smaller, with a lower grade, but very easy to mine, metallurgical issues, also infrastructure half ready, it's complicated. Mining it's a very interesting business, and it's complicated. So, but basically it's 500 point at 1%. We would like to go, bigger. So if you think about Tempacan, I don't know. Oh, for only the capex. Yeah. The capex for 5. No, it's look. Take Tempacans as an example. So we're talking about 2 billion tons. What is the grade there? 0.7. So